All right, everybody. This is another video covering the 2023 Myth World Cup, Avon's Grove. I believe the games were from last Saturday. I'm joined again by Kryptos. How you doing there?
I'm doing well. How are you, Overdose?
Doing okay. It's the middle of the week, almost to the weekend. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, we may or may not have more of these Avon's Grove games to cover. Um, This is actually a match against the Juggernauts, which I was a team on, and I was taxed I was tasked with captaining the first two games. I didn't want to, but Father Xmas he has some information that I don't want getting out, so I did this on his behalf. So you do what you got to do, and then so yeah, this is game number one, King of the Map, Mixed Blessings. Let's just jump into this.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
I just want to say, every, I think the general consensus of the community has been rooting for these two teams. I mean, Avon's Grove is just like, gosh, oh, you got a mix of characters in there. And then at the last moment, the Juggernauts joined as the last team, which, you know, there was, you know, Rat King tournament organizer worked it out, fit him in, but it was great to have a whole team come in at the last second, which kind of threw everyone for you know uh, a loop, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, props to Rat King for being a bit flexible, but still adhering to sort of a tourney operating system that makes sense, and kind of a bend but don't compromise the integrity of the tournament kind of attitude, and definitely appreciate him for that. But I will say that Father Xmas, he did kind of, yeah, he definitely changed the course of this tournament, for better or for worse. But yeah, let me just quickly run through the teams. So once again, I'm captaining Team Juggernauts. I've got Walter White, Father Xmas, Juggernaut Light, Kryptos, who is you were just observing, Scratch and Spy against Avon's Grove, Garnish Trent, Vigor, Kronjak, Two Frogs Walking, and Gerald Toad. So since I was captaining this game, I can tell you that our strategy was to send some archer and thrall packs, north and mid, and some melee packs with warlocks and such. Two to the north and two to the middle, to varying degrees of success. And then I was just gonna park a dwarf here and put some thrall on this flag, and just sort of guard that flag. And our plan was to sort of hold this home flag, and of course the middle, this flag here, and this flag for four flags, and then just kind of lean on them, hopefully maybe snag a fifth if we can, and go from there. But based off, oh, were you gonna say something? Or
No, I was just gonna say that sounds like a solid base base strategy, and yeah, I was gonna play off what you were gonna say next, if you would.
okay, yeah, I mean it looks like Avon's Grove, they got a handful less archers, so they only got six, and I think they opted for more warriors instead. And that, I think that's really the material difference. Well, more warriors and thrall. We got like 22 thrall, I think. They got about six or seven, something like that. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon, to see more melee on flag maps, like especially King of the Map. So it's interesting to see the amount of archers, unit points put in. How many warlocks? Okay, do they have the same amount of warlocks? Was it 4 versus 4?
Yeah, I think we got 4 each. I don't know why all of our warlocks are
Flag
bunched together
captured.
like this. This is not really that good.
Yeah, at first glance, it doesn't look quite right. I'm sure they'll spread.
And we have a bunch of naked
Flag
warriors over
lost.
here. Yeah,
Flag
Hello,
captured.
as Modian joined. I'm not sure if he's
and then
going to
we
talk
got we got some warlocks, some actions here. But yeah, I mean these naked warlocks not so good. I don't know what Father Xmas was doing. And then, all these clumped warlocks. You don't really want to see that too much.
Flag captured.
now. So who do we have middle on the Juggernaut side?
Walter
Flag
White,
contested.
Juggernaut Light,
Flag lost.
and another Walter White. I don't know what happened. Maybe I gave out the units wrong,
Flag captured.
but
Flag
yeah, I
contested.
wanted one archer pack middle, one archer pack north,
Flag lost.
and then two
Flag
melee packs
contested.
each middle and north. And what we have instead is two archer packs north and pretty much three melee packs, it looks like. So something happened. I was the captain, so it's probably my fault. But it seems like we're kind of adjusted. Oh, nice shot there from Walter White. It looked like a friendly fire bomb there from Juggernaut
Flag
Light.
contested.
Blast. Oh, it looks like he's gonna blast our team again. I don't know. I don't know who hired this guy, but I need a refund on this player.
I'm not quite sure who that is, to be honest. And I'm pretty good at keeping track of people. Do you know who that is?
I don't know. I mean, he's got Doi. Have you seen Doi before?
I mean, I know of Doi, but I have not seen him
Yeah,
in
I
a
think
long time.
I think that's who it is. But I really have no idea because I joined the team after the chat room was already made and his name was already
Flag
changed.
lost.
But I assume that's who it is. But
Flag
Okay.
contested.
Yeah, it's
we see
kind
some
of hard to tell
AFK
nowadays.
goals right there. But yeah, I mean, as we were talking, it looks like my team is making some adjustments by themselves, which is always good. It's always good to have some people who don't need
Flag
to be told
lost.
what to do explicitly. We have this Scratch doing Scratch things,
Flag
going
contested.
around causing some
Yeah.
trouble, allowing the middle to push, even though the middle isn't pushing. But yeah, they're shooting journeymen instead, I guess. But it looks
You
like
know
we're
what? Interesting point that you made there. In my opinion,
Flag
every
captured.
player should basically
Flag
be
captured.
like their own
Flag
captain
lost.
under their captain. Does that
Oh
make
well,
sense?
I mean, you're sounding like a World War II player. I mean, who would have thought?
I mean, these people to make judgment calls based on their situation, but at the same time, try to adhere to the strategy of the team captain, whoever that might
Flag
be. In this case,
captured.
be you or
Flag
or Avon
contested.
Grove Garnish. But at one
Yeah,
point, like sometimes you just gotta do what's best.
I mean,
Um,
I think I was just doing my
Flag
stupid
lost.
my stupid jokes and doing basically like a stand-up comedy
Flag
routine on voice
contested.
chat, and that's why I wasn't really
Flag
giving any orders
lost.
or anything like that. Completely distracted. I should never be a captain,
Flag
but
contested.
well, I think it was appreciated, unexpected for you to be captain. No offense, obviously, but
yeah. Well, like
I
I
was
like I said, Father Xmas has some dirt on me that I
Flag
wouldn't want to
captured.
come to light. So I had to put in my duty, and he only wanted to captain 3 games, so that's the way it worked out.
I was, I was watching this game as it was happening, and yeah, I was thinking, well, I thought Father Xmas would be captaining, but yeah. So at this point, 34, 62%. Juggernauts are quite a bit ahead.
Flag contested.
Yeah, I mean it's we see that these groups of archers miraculously survived. I guess the thrall might have served their purpose, even though we did see a lot of friendly fire in the earlier parts of this game. But they must have protected the archers somewhat well.
Flag
And
contested.
yeah, I mean, Avon's Grove is kind of surrounded at this point.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. In regards to archers and thrall, the archer thrall combination can work out very well, especially strategies where you just want to hold position. Say, what's the map? Like Carrick you could put a thrall bunch with a bunch of archers. You can hold the mid strategically. And point-wise, you can have a war flank, a heavy war flank on one, actually both one or both of the side. But anywho, I know Asmo's listening. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Game
that was it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have won that game. I think if they were a little more aggressive, they had. I think they had us outnumbered in warriors like 2-1, and we had them outnumbered in archers. So if they just kind of muscled through, maybe got some lucky puss, puss the archers, rush with the warriors, something like that, they might have had a better chance. Not really sure, but yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of factors involved, but a very big one that seems to be consistent with Avon's growth this year is aggressiveness. And what I've seen thus far is that they've let the other team dictate the game. And so, in other words, I wish there were more aggressiveness and on their side versus letting the other team, play their game.
I mean, it sounds like you're talking about controlling the narrative. I mean, I like to. One of my favorite things is you always compare things to football because like a lot of people. I believe that real life mimics football, and it's always about it's a game of adjustments. It's a game about controlling the narrative. It's about execution, and having that killer instinct. You know what I mean? And obviously we're right around the corner from football season. It's almost August. This is kind of the low point in terms of sports, but glad that it's almost back. It's not really a summer without freaking football. But anyway, this is another game that I captained. I think my strategy. I sent Spy with a melee pack south to tag this flag. I have this nice maul wall to guard this flag with a warlock. Walter White the Trow. I said, go middle. If they send all three of their Trow, just wait for the artillery and play the slow game. If they split their Trow, which I think every single game they had done, just rush in there and kill them. But we'll see what happens. And then everyone else, I either gave a soul pack or a lock, a mortar, and some melee units. And I think I told them to go mid. As far as Team Avon's Grove, we see a pretty similar strategy. I know they don't have as many locks as I got, and maybe they got one less Dwarven mortar, but pretty similar trades. I would say. I think maybe they have a couple more mauls. Yeah, but basically the same trade, I would say. We'll see what their strategy is.
Yeah, I think the unit distribution, besides where units are going to go, is probably going to play more of a factor in this game. If either team splits Trow, I mean, that could be a game changer right there.
Did they split it three ways? Oh yeah, they split it three ways. Trent, Vigor, and Kronjak. Okay.
and versus Juggernots. I think Walter White, he had all three, if I remember.
Yeah, and I freaking told this clown, if you only see one Trow, then just rush. I don't know. I don't know if he listened to me or not, but if they split
There,
their Trow 3 ways, then they absolutely should. We should have had this flag first. I don't know. It's you try and you lead a horse to water,
Flag
but you can't make him drink. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a tough life out here.
I would just say, if somebody is given,
Flag
the
captured.
responsibility of 3 Trow, then
Flag
Oh, there's
captured.
2
you
here.
have to
Okay.
take advantage of it. You can't
Flag
let
captured.
that power go to waste. Like, you got to utilize it.
Flag
Yeah, I mean,
captured.
I would
Flag
imagine I was
captured.
probably calling for the rush here, but
Yeah,
I don't know what Walter White was doing, and I don't know why these guys stopped. But the rush didn't work out, and Spy, he's doing his thing.
interesting. Yeah, splitting the Trow on this is difficult because, like South, for example, what is that one Trow going to do? He could try to sneak by that melee pack, but he can't take it on.
Captured.
So it just makes it really difficult to make a difference. But the Trow split on this, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now we got oh that was me with the soulless. I didn't even remember that I had those things. But okay, now they're rushing with just the melee. This is not a good idea.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, at this point, probably should just hold this access point, and that's it. Walter White already tagged this flag down here. It looks like he's going for their home flag, but he's not going to be able to get it. And I'm not sure what he's doing with these two, just trying to pull off some melee. I think he might be trying to set up the rush, but there's just too many artillery here. I'm going in with my soulless to tag this flag. And we have, who is this here? Kronjak tagging flag 6, probably going to try and flag tag 2. Maybe try and surround us. Oh, we see some Trow here, killing a melee pack.
Yeah, it looks like it was a decent percent, at least 15% or more. Of course, the Trow took some damage, but Juggernaut's still in the lead on flag.
Yep, and we see,
Again, Trent in this position with the Trow, what is like? I would be thinking, what the, what am I supposed to be doing here? But none of his already or teammates are backing him up to shoot at the enemy. So why you take damage? There's no purpose here.
Yeah, they do seem to be AFK, but Kronjak's Trow did swoop around, kill that middle warlock there, and we see, oh, this is a bad decision.
Captured.
Walter's going to lose a Trow there. Yeah, I think he should just wait till Spy gets here, and this Mercuridia will tear those pigs apart. There was no real need to get that Trow, to lose that Trow, but okay, so
Indeed.
we're going to get this flag here, and I think that'll be victory imminent. I'm getting harassed over here, but it's going to take them 2 Trow to kill my mauls and all of that.
I see the middle is contested.
Yeah. I mean, these guys should be rushing, honestly. I mean,
Flag captured.
or at least putting pressure.
Victory imminent.
Yeah, we do have victory imminent. I mean, it's 76-43, and more than half their army is up here. So, I think it would be pretty easy to just kind of take this flag, but I guess there's no rush because we do have victory imminent. But
Yeah, certainly no rush. It doesn't hurt to make some, if there's opportunity to
Captured.
take some shots at the enemy. Never
Victory
hurts.
imminent.
Yep.
Oh, well, that was close. Oh, it might hurt.
I am showing that World War II skills don't necessarily translate into Solus skills. So,
Yeah, but at this point, yeah, I'm surprised Juggernots middle is not also moving in on flag 1.
oh, somebody
Flag
just
captured.
nice shot there from Two Frogs Walking to get some last second damage, but it's not going to be enough. Walter White, 108 damage, 30 kills, 1 loss. What can you say? That was a
Yeah,
stud performance, but good effort all around. Juggernaut Light not doing much, but I guess he was holding down flag number 8. They almost got there. I don't think they would have been able to take it with these two Trow. I think there's probably more than enough, unless that Warlock accidentally did a fire ring on half these melee. But I don't know. I don't think that would have happened. But,
yeah. Combination of things. Spreading the Trow, fundamentally, I think kind of, yeah, it was a game changer in itself. But there was other things that could have compensated for it. It just didn't occur. Good job on Juggernaut's side. Good effort on Avon's Grove.
yeah, I mean they did get victory eminent, so it was not some kind of steamroll or anything like that. But yeah, I mean splitting the Trow, whatever. Yeah, I mean they seem to do it every single game, and I mean despite me telling Walter White if it's 3-on-2 Trow, then just rush it, and he didn't rush. It's I don't know. There's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Okay, so
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes players, not saying this is the case here, but sometimes players are just going to do what they're going to do. And they might have, you know, maybe he just wanted ratios, and he wanted to kick the crap out of some units.
I mean that sounds like a World War II player. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now we're back to normal here with Father Xmas capping these beautiful red instead of my sludge green color. This is railroad tracks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been played multiple times in Myth World Cup match games, and it's an interesting map. Um, the middle really is the focus, but you cannot ignore the flanks. I mean, flank totally flopping on one side can alter the game, but same thing with the middle RD fight, which usually comes down to. So, yeah, this will be interesting to see.
yeah. I
I
mean
think it's going to be mostly RD fight.
it's
Go
one
ahead.
of those games where you got the Trow absorbing damage, you got the artillery units firing across the river. You've got a soulless pack trying to peck at the Trow, trying to eat away at their health. Even though it is territories, this is a very center focused map. But like what you said, got to watch those flanks too. So let's.
Yeah, and interesting thing about this map, there's not a lot of maps that actually provide the opportunity to think Wyatt, and I don't know if either team is actually going to trade for Wyatt. Looks like maybe Avon Grove got one. Okay, there's not a lot of maps that provide the opportunity to get that Wyatt in a good position, where it could be utilized perhaps later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you
But
usually want to sink it here and then have it walk kind of all the way around to this. This is the juicy area. And then if you're on Avon's Grove, you can sink them here, kind of, and then have them walk along this ridge, try and get them along this side of the river. But yeah, it looks like Avon's Grove might be thinking that Father Xmas not so much. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think it depends on who your teammates are, what kind of roster your team has. Um, if it were me, I wouldn't bother with the Wyatts. Um, I'd rather use those unit points otherwise, because any competent arty would probably be checking the water, hitting it now and then to make sure there's no Wyatt in the first place.
yeah, okay. So what do you think of these trades? I mean, for the most part, I think we have two more warlocks than they do, but
Game
a pretty
on.
pretty similar trade. I don't think there's any like staggering difference. They have more myrmidons than we have. I think we only have a handful, but yeah, I mean, pretty basic, plus or minus some artillery units and some melee units. Father Xmas drawing on the map because he doesn't like to speak. So it sort of is a wonder why he chose to be captain if he doesn't like to speak. But instead he just draws on the map like a kindergarten student. So yeah,
You mean like Thor? I'm not sure if you remember Thor, but light on map, one of
yeah,
his famous lines.
yeah. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is sort of one of the annoying things is that you have to go around. There's no shallow water in
Flag
this
captured.
area, so you can't walk directly to the middle.
indeed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case for the other side
Flag
of the map,
captured.
well,
because that
there's
would
some
be,
shallow water
oh,
here.
Flag
Yeah,
captured.
interesting. They technically should be able to tag to the middle first, which, in my opinion, I wouldn't let that happen as a map maker. That
yeah.
imbalance.
Well, I mean, it's territories, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. If it was like flag rally or something,
Flag
maybe it would make more
captured.
of a difference. But yeah, we
Yeah,
we see a huge flank here from Walter White, and who's accompanying him? Spy, Scratch, yeah, just Spy and Scratch, and then
Flag captured.
everyone else is middle. Um, we see Gerald with the Trow for Team Avon's Grove, accompanied by Two Frogs Walking, Jack. Yeah, just those two, I think. Um, it'll be interesting.
I really think, yeah, on this map in particular, I would be focusing more on the warlock and mortars in the middle fight. Um, the flanks hopefully can hold their own, one way or the other. But at the end of the day, like
Flag lost.
Yeah,
being down or
I mean, Gerald can't have his Mercridia bunched up
Flag
like that.
contested.
no, that was
He
pretty
lost
Flag
hard to
he
watch.
lost like
Yeah.
captured.
five right off the bat. Who is this guy? Oh yeah, it's just some guy named Overdose. I don't know. Just launching bombs at people. But
Yep. Not. I don't know the experience that Draw has with the Trow. I think he's doing the best he can. You know, at least he is. You notice he's on the other side of the river. I mean, that says something. He's trying to be aggressive.
yeah, well, I mean, whenever we play the giant maps, I usually just give Gerald the giant units because it's kind of tradition, I guess. Whether it increases or decreases our chances of winning, I have no idea. But he always says he wants the big units. I give him the big units. What else am I gonna do? But yeah, he likes the Trow. He likes the forest giants. So that's what I do, man. Just give it to him. But it looks,
Interesting.
yeah, and maybe that's why, you know, that's why,
But Father X is the captain. So
yeah.
a nice lob shot there.
All right, so these warlocks are gonna wipe out Avon's Grove's soulless, which is, it's pretty important because again, a lot of the point of having soulless is to go after the enemy Trow, which of course they're not really doing, but this pressure from the north really didn't allow those soulless to get set up. So good job from Walter White, Scratch, and Spy. But now we just have this huge clump of units in the middle, and I think You know, they could be sending some guys around, you know, mopping up these flags back here, kind of like what Trent is doing with these 3 Heron guards. But instead, everyone's just kind of working the middle. Oh, he almost gets another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the middle arty fight at this point is looking like either way. But, oh boy. And you're right, Trent. I'm glad to see that guy. He's going around playing the objective of the game, capturing some flags, getting behind their backfield. But, you know, it's hard to. Oh, what's happening here with the Trow?
Flag contested.
Trow getting very aggressive.
Like, don't tread on me, I'll fight you back. Yeah.
Flag contested.
I don't know how that's going to work out, though.
Flag
He's a little lower on health, I think. Uh-oh.
Trent is AFK, it seems. He's going to
Ouch.
take a shot.
Yeah, that was a hard hit there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was focusing on these 3 Heron guards. I don't know what was going on. Can't take your eyes off the most important part of the game. Okay, so we got a Warlock exchange there. But it is 93 to 65.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know what's going on Garnish's end. I don't know if they're all talking on voice or whatnot. But he's got 2%. I would hope that he's given directions, and, you know, being able to be more observant, give directions with 2%.
Flag contested.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I mean, maybe he has that mean streak in him where he could start barking orders. I haven't seen it from him, and I've teamed with him plenty over the years, but maybe Myth World Cup might be different, I'm not sure.
Nice. Like, I don't know, from what I gather, relatively
Flag captured.
calm, but sometimes
Contested.
there should be a balance. It's okay to be aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe he is in Hawaii, so I mean, it's hard to be angry and aggressive when you're living in Hawaii, right? So.
True that.
Flag contested.
Okay, so now we see some stuff actually, you know, making some progress towards the objective. You know, we should have seen that a few minutes ago, and you know, you really only need like maybe 10 melee units, you know, just a handful of mauls and maybe some Heron guards to heal, something like that. But the Mercridia, you know, the Mercridia are being wasted just kind of standing around. I think they should be, you know, going around either surrounding the middle or tagging flags or, you know, doing something like that. Because the artillery can, you know, hold off any kind of rush or whatever. And it's really just kind of a Trow battle, even though, as I was talking, Gerald unfortunately did lose his Trow, and Trent again asleep at the wheel. I mean, this is a guy that you recruited for your order, man. This guy was handpicked.
Sorry, my microphone was messed up there. So yeah, the game's over. How about that?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, another game with Juggernaut Light not putting up any statistic. I don't know what he was doing.
Gosh.
I mean, he had 12 units somewhere. I don't know where they were, but yeah, the second game.
I had there was awareness issues there with people for sure.
Yeah, well, there's always awareness issues in this game. You know, you take your eyes off for 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, all your units are dead. So, I mean, that's one of the key things of this game is, you know, always keep track of your units and always keep moving. I think never just, have one unit, moving around while everyone else is standing there. But yeah, this is now Flag Rally under Muirthemne, a HMP map, I believe. And let's see if even though I believe with that third loss, Avon's Grove has technically been eliminated from Myth World Cup, like the true warriors they are. They're playing the match out. We're gonna play all 5 games, and we'll see what happens with this flag rally game here.
Yeah, I appreciate and respect that they would play the games through, and I wish that were the case in every Myth World Cup match. If there's 5 games, play all 5. I mean, if you win the first 3, then or whatever, like, whoop-de-doo. Let's just play them out. It's a game. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a game, and for whatever reason, why you play this game, Myth World Cup is sort of the embodiment for a lot of that, and you might as well get it while you can, because every year that this game continues to exist, it just feels like bonus, and like you just got to keep riding it until the wheels fall off, because that there's eventually going to be a year where we're not going to get the numbers necessary for either a reg tournament or World War II or whatever, and so when it happens, even if the games aren't as great as they were back in BungieNet or whatever, you just got to appreciate it, because we're all here to have fun at the end of the day, and yeah, that's what it's all about. Anyway, we have team Walter White now. I believe Father Xmas wanted to save I think he said that he had a good strategy for this map, and so he wanted Walter White to captain because he wanted to save his strategy or something like that for whoever was, or I believe it was
Yeah.
Team Save. It was it was Rat Size Cats maybe, or Team Save Myth. I'm not really sure.
Actually, yeah. When he had said he wanted to save the strats for the team that happened to be on. I should know the name. I think it's Save Myth World Cup. I think it should be just Save Myth, but well, well, apparently I'm on that team, so he wanted to, maybe not give any heads up. He knew I was watching. Not sure, but
yeah, who knows? Yeah. So one of the major differences I see is that we didn't get any warlocks. Instead, we opted for the 6 dwarven heroes. Garnish opted for the 4 warlocks, 3 archers, which is a strange number, and 3 dwarven heroes. Other than that, I think the melee pretty similar, even though I think we did max the Myrmidons, which they're fast and maneuverable, and more importantly, they're only worth 2 unit points, but at the same time they kind of suck. So I mean, who knows?
yeah, I think when they're utilized right, especially just going after say a dwarf or a warlock, they're good for that reason primarily. But how do you feel about warlocks versus dwarfs, or pathfinders, I should say, on this map?
Well, I feel first of all that Walter White needs to back the hell up. I don't know what he's doing. I think if YOLO threw a bomb at these Zerks a little better, then like a bunch of them would have been dead. Oh, that's not good right there. An auto fire by YOLO. We also see Father Xmas putting some pressure on this side here, getting some free shots again. AFK units is the major killer here.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And not dropping your satchels. You got to drop those satchels. Okay, well, those guys are gonna get.
It took a while to even recognize. Wow. Oh Okay, well, hopefully Avon's Grove can compensate for that.
Yeah, we got a dwarf battle brewing. Father Xmas coming from the side. Uh, Keep in mind there are some stairs here, so this maybe you can't see it, but this is actually a little bit higher than this central area. And if Father Xmas is able to get rid of the Zerk and start moving around, then he might be able to
Absolutely.
kill a bunch of these warlocks and stuff. Ooh, this Walter White Myrmidon should have been after that warlock. Might have been able to save this dwarf here, but it looks like he's going to get a couple of the other warlocks and dwarves. Oh, that was a nice death throw there. Meanwhile, we have a huge Avon's Grove force moving around to tag flags. I mean, I don't like the warlock or the archers because they're too slow. I mean, this is just a complete waste of unit points. This is 8, and then 11, 14, 17, 20, 23 unit points that are really just kind of walking around, not doing anything.
Yeah, I have to say, putting archers and warlocks on a long flank, in which case they were, fundamental mistake, in my opinion. If anything, if you're going to get those units, you better put them more toward the middle, at the least.
Yeah, and I think those archers, had they been middle, if they had either been here or here, they could have helped deflect some of these Dwarven Pathfinders, especially, maybe if the archers were here, they could have gone up and shot at Father Xmas's dwarf, who was causing all kinds of trouble against these units of whoever who played like they weren't even here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really dislike their unit trade. It looks like Avon's Grove is going to actually tag all the flags. Slightly slower though than Team Walter White here, but they did win the game, just not as quickly as Juggernauts. But they deserve some credit for that.
Yeah, it was relatively close at the end. But overall, yeah, there were some just very, in my opinion, basic things you don't do. You don't let your unit sit what seems to be an AFK, sit there and take enemy shots. That just shouldn't happen. But anyway, regardless, good job on the Juggernaut side, and surprised that the Avon's Grove made it that close at the end.
Yeah, I mean the flank worked. They didn't need those archers. They didn't need that warlock. Maybe they should have sent those guys either middle or somewhere else. Maybe that north channel. But they did tag all the flags. So good on them. This is a game where you absolutely have to tag the opposing team's flag, capture the flag. This is going to town. This is another map where every once in a while you might be tempted to park a white in this deep water here as a defense mechanism, but I don't know if Garnish is going to do it. It looks like he has 4, but this might be because he hasn't finished trading yet.
Yeah. What's your opinion here? Capture the flag. It's a relatively interesting map. Okay. Yeah. What are your thoughts? If you were team captain here, what would you be thinking in terms of what certain units should go where?
I would be parking some thrall on the flag, and then I would split forest giants, give each forest giant a goal, and then have split the Zerks, have half the Zerks go with one forest giant, half the Zerks with the other. Maybe park like 2 or 3 of these guys in the deep water. Maybe you could ambush a forest giant or something, take them by surprise, and then have a warlock follow each of these Zerk packs, that kind of deal. With this unit set, I don't know what we got actually. I mean, it's pretty much the same unit set. I guess we got some more soulless instead of. Yeah, I don't think they got any soulless. So they.
But I think the one thing, well, one of two things perhaps I see different in unit trading is perhaps the Thrall Elite versus Gas. Yeah, it's like Avon's Grove went for Gas over more Berserks and Thrall Elite. I would have gone more of the Juggernaut unit trading for more Berserks and more Thrall Elite.
Yeah, I mean, I do prefer the Thrall Elite just because the gas die so quickly. But I also think that if you were to get like 2 or 3 and just like put them in each of these deep waters and see if you can catch a forest giant, it might be worth. I think gasts are like worth 1 point, right? So it's just like 3 points of units or whatever. Might be worth parking a few in the deep water trying to ambush, but apart from that, yeah, I definitely prefer the Thrall because these guys are just too weak. They get completely shattered by artillery units and melee units alike, whereas at least the Thrall Elite are somewhat strong. Again, they need 2 Warlock shots or 2 Mortar shots to die, and they're somewhat resilient against melee units. They have a lot of hit points and that kind of thing, so they're definitely the better unit.
Like Avon's Grove looks like they're moving all their Wyatts towards the water. It's okay. All right. So sometimes people captains will choose to explode the Wyatts and hope that there's a extra big putz for their goals to utilize against the enemy force giant. But in this case, doesn't look like that's what they plan to do.
Well, especially when you get this many goals, and usually you want to pop the whites. Well, I mean, traditionally you just kind of do it behind. I don't know. I don't think it
Yeah,
really
in
makes
the
much of a
chat,
difference.
YOLO pop Wyatts or okay, so he's starting to pop them.
All right, yeah, there we go. Oh, they got a big one.
Ooh, so lucky for them, man.
Fortune smiles on the. Okay, but yeah, so we see original engagement here. It looks like
Who do we got on the fortune?
Kronjak and Scratch. It looks like there's a lot of Zerks here.
Yeah.
And then we have Geralt in the north with Vigor following him and a bunch of artillery units in the rear. We see Overdose. I'm slowly making my way. He told me to send these Thrall Elite mid, so that's what I'm doing. And Father Xmas, same thing. Walter White telling us to go mid with the Thrall Elite. Flag pretty poorly defended. And then it looks
interesting. Yeah. I would have put the Thrall Elite on the flag. They're a little more resilient, but let's see what happens here.
Yeah, you could have. Okay, so the shadowing isn't the worst thing in the world. I think Scratch should definitely be pushing because he has like twice as much melee as this group over here.
Who is he with? I see there's another Berserk, that Juggernaut Eagle or whatever his name is.
Juggernaut Light, yeah.
Yeah, he could have cut that off, in my opinion, in hindsight, cut him off in the middle and separated those forces so that.
Oh, Scratch, what are you doing? Oh, Trent should just turn around and fire on these guys. What are you doing, Trent? Oh, is he going to go for the ring? Okay, well, I don't know about that. He could have gotten He could have gotten some fireballs off, I think. Nice shot there. Trent's finally doing some damage to these Zerks. Oh, nice throw there. Oh, and they're throwing pus. It could have been a trap. Maybe Trent Reznor was just luring them in, and they destroyed.
But that still needs to be taken care of.
Oh, we see flag contested here. Geralt, he is. That could have been a really bad pus.
Contested.
Oh yeah. These soulless are going to do a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, I think the Soulless are definitely going to get this Forest Giant, but can they get these Zerks?
Nah, yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
Flag
Uh,
captured.
Wow.
and that is it.
Look at the damage percentage there. Like 64, 80, or I'm sorry, 83, 84.
83,
Interesting.
84, yeah. So it was pretty close. I mean, I think most of their damage was done here when Trent blew up those Zerks, and then of course killing the Zerks on the flag here. But yeah, I mean there was pretty. I mean, look at this town. It looks completely intact. So there was nothing, completely clean board, and then there's really just a lot of battle on the flanks, and then at our home base. So I don't know.
If there were a map to send a strong flank on, I mean, with Force Giant, this would be it. So, yeah, that's just like the perfect example. Send Force Giant with some Zergs on the flank to capture the flag. So, yeah, those middle forces, they can only play so much of a part. The best thing they can do is, in this case, is fall back. And yeah, it's just, if there were more time allowed, perhaps things could have turned out differently. But yeah, what are your thoughts overall on that there?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was kind of a strange decision to send, some artillery with the Thrall Elite middle. Father Xmas and I had the same unit set, and I think we got a mortar, a warlock, maybe a couple of goals, and 5 or 6 Thrall Elite. And it was our job to go middle. And I think if we had Zerks instead of those Thrall Elite, and then we had the Thrall Elite on the flag, we might have actually been able to repel this. But
Yeah,
instead, we just had 6 Zerks on the flag. I mean, they had a nice pus goal, and they still might have pulled it out, but I think the Thrall don't really have any business really going anywhere except for guarding the flag. That's sort of the textbook definition of thrall duty. And maybe Walter White was getting a little flashy. I don't know, but yeah, I think the strategy was a bit weird. Even though I liked our unit trade. I liked the rules that everyone was given. I would have just swapped Father Xmas and I's Thrall Elite for Zerks instead, to give us a little more maneuverability, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I want to say though that you know it wasn't a complete boneheaded move by Walter White or anything like that. I mean, I would have exchanged the Zerks for the Thrall Elite, but at the same time, I don't want to take away any credit from Avon's Grove. I mean, they pulled off this great flanking maneuver. Geralt showing us why he gets those giant units, and we actually saw a little bit of aggression out of these guys. So even though it was the last game, they were already eliminated. They're going out on a high note, and hopefully we'll see them next year.
yeah,
Team
I have to
eliminated.
agree.
Game.
I just imagine if the units that were the unit points that were dedicated towards the middle from Juggernaut, if they had been more dedicated towards defense, that'd have been a completely different outcome, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, unfortunately, it's going to have to wait until next year because Avon's Grove has been eliminated. Um, and I don't think I'm going to cover. I don't think I'm going to cover the games, so I will just spoil it that Juggernots has also been eliminated. I unfortunately had to have lunch with my parents on Sundays or last Sunday, so I wasn't able to play those games. But Yeah, we're done as well. So there are just three teams remaining: Men in Tights, which is the top seed, I believe, Rat's Eyes Cats, and Team Save Myth with one loss each. They are going to battle to the death next Sunday. And then I believe, according to the rules, whoever wins Save Myth versus Rat Size Cats, they're going to actually have to beat Men in Tights twice because it is a double elimination tournament. So I'm not sure if that's what has to happen or if they just have to win once. But yeah, it's gonna be a long way to the top for you guys. It's a uphill struggle because Rat Size Cats and Men in Tights, I mean, they mean business. So it's going to be interesting.
Indeed. Yeah.
However, however, you never want to count out the guy who's actually hosting the tournament. They tend to do better when they're actually hosting for whatever reason. So never count Rat King out because he's always got some tricks up his sleeve, and he might be able to bedazzle rat-sized cats and lead his team to victory against Men in Tights. Who knows? But yeah, any final remarks there, Kryptos?
Well, considering that, I'm just looking forward to, yeah. Oh, I don't, yeah, I can't say too much, but Adrian, I look forward to a 1 versus 1 on Lichen. How about that?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
He'll understand if he actually watches this. He'll know what I mean.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get to see it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be around on Sunday, but yeah, and in case you've only been watching my videos, I would like to make it known to the world that, of course, our friend here, Kryptos, has started his own channel, and so you can expect plenty of great content from him in the future. Um, and maybe are you planning on streaming your match against Rat Sized Cats?
Well, it kind of depends on, you know, the player limit in the game. I wish there were more than 16. Um, I may do it. I might be the host, and I might be streaming. I think my setup is able to handle all that for everyone to have low latency, no, low pings for the games. But we'll see who's the host and whatnot. It's
Okay.
going to be interesting. I'll tell you that. It, there's a lot going on. A lot going on behind the scenes. So yeah, it'll be good games to come. I can assure you that. I'm actually going back. I didn't realize I played over 700 Miss World Cup games, and I'll have to say yes, I have won Miss World Cup before. So before anyone said anything,
All right.
um,
Well, I didn't realize I was talking to a seasoned veteran. I mean, geez, I should have played some entrance music for you before we started this cast.
just like I didn't even realize like I'm just going through old recordings, and I'm like, wow, all right, that's interesting. Just going back like even 10 years, watch some of these recordings. And I might just and back to regards to you saying me being a caster or whatever. I'm still in the newbie stage compared to Overdose, Muirthemne,
Well,
Terries.
I've probably been streaming or casting games for like maybe a little over a year, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. But yeah, it's nothing special, I would say. All you need is
Yeah,
the gift of gab and some decent computers. Internet connection. That's all it
yeah.
takes.
I might actually even go back that far and do some reviews on those. I might have to wait. Until this Cup is over. But yeah, just reviewing some like old time Mythbook games. Some of
All
them are
right.
really interesting.
Well, I'm sure we're all looking forward to it, but yeah, I mean, I think that's about gonna do it for this. I mean, we're just at about an hour, and I've pretty much gone through all I have to say. Any last remarks?
Gosh, no, I think that I mean that was as far as reviews go and Mythroca. Um, you know, that's about as simple as it gets, in my opinion. I think the matches to come are going to be, uh, uh, there's going to be a lot more commentary for us to work with. Let me just say that.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.